And we're back at it on a Monday, 15th day of April, 2024. Happy Tax Day. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your week with us. It is a very pleasant 54 degrees. It is a little windy. Wind out of the west-northwest at 18 miles an hour, and that's going to be the story today, and a lot cooler than yesterday. We hit 79 degrees on Sunday. Our normal high is 61. Well, we'll be closer to that normal high than that abnormally warm temperatures that we had not only Sunday, but Saturday. Saturday got to 71. Big cool down coming in with a rather potent cold front that's already beginning to enter into the area. It's going to be hanging around today and into the week. It's going to cool us down, and then we'll warm right back up again. The one constant is going to be the sunshine. Going to see a lot of it, just a little on the windy side today. Forecast details always take precedence because weather is the one thing that kind of affects everybody in many respects. A lot of news to get to. Sports. Mariners, wow. They just can't score any runs. They didn't score enough yesterday. Cubs beat them 3-2. Tough loss, too, because Luis Castillo pitched by far his best game of the year, but didn't get any run supports. The Kraken are playing out the string, and the Wildcats and the Panthers did battle on the pitch. We'll have soccer highlights from our Friday night broadcast as well in sports. And in the interview portion of this show, in the back half of the program, Tom Nees sat down with me last week. We taped a great interview with Tom. Of course, he is no longer the Chief Hope Officer for Serve Wenatchee Valley. He has moved on to his other job that he's actually had for a while, and that is running the Common Ground Community Housing Trust, the project trying to get affordable housing here in the Wenatchee Valley. We had a great interview with Tom. His predecessor, the man who's is going to take the job from him, already has. Mike will be joining me on tomorrow's episode, so Serve Wenatchee Valley gets a lot of love from us both today and tomorrow. 2 minutes after the hour, let's take our tour around the valley with our cameras around the valley, and we're back to the Wenatchee Heights camera on this Monday. Sunrise this morning, 6:11. Sunset tonight will be at 7:51. That's 13 hours and 40 minutes of daylight. By the end of the week, our sunset will be after 8 o'clock in the evening. And as we mentioned, that rather strong cold front has already crossed the Cascade Crest, and it's popping in here, bringing us some windy conditions and some cooler conditions and a few clouds. But it was a beautiful weekend. 71 on Saturday, 79 yesterday. Wow, just gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, Omi Gardens opens today. That's not quite at Omi Gardens. That's a little outcropping, obviously farther up north along Highway 97A, but we call it the Omi Gardens camera because it's pretty close to Omi Gardens, which opens for business today. If you've been itching to come on up and enjoy the beauty of Omi Gardens, you can do so starting now. Good morning to the Otobashian Bridge and the north side of the Wenatchee Valley. Up to Lake Wenatchee we go, where they had a lot of snow melt over the weekend, as you can tell. We used that same camera on Friday, and there was a lot of snow, or still quite a bit of snow, on the north face of Dirty Face Mountain. That's not the case anymore. It was into the 70s up in Lake Wenatchee yesterday. It was a warm day up there. It's just beautiful, though. Gorgeous. And Billy Goat. Up to the north we go. Good morning to Pateras, Bridgeport, and Brewster, and all places to the north of us. The Alta Lake Golf Course is at the bottom of your screen. You can make it out. Just a few high clouds in Omak. Omak got a lot more wind yesterday than we did, and it also came earlier. The wind really held off until about 4:30 yesterday afternoon, but it is here, and it's going to be windy today. We have the slide to show for you from the National Weather Service as far as wind gusts, and again, the strongest winds will be this afternoon here in the Wenatchee Valley. We could see the occasional gusts between 30 and 35 miles an hour. The sustained winds are going to be about 20 miles an hour, most of it out of the west-northwest. So you can take a look at your arrows there. Some of it just plain west, some locations. They'll be changing directions a little bit. Definitely a concern of some blowing dust and dirt out in the Columbia Basin and the Moses Lake Quincy area because of all the wind out there. They're gonna, it's hard when there's nothing really to hold the soil or the dirt to the planet, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, get ready for a windy day today. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Lots of sunshine, a lot cooler, 62 after a high of 79 yesterday, but still sunshine, and as we already mentioned, quite breezy at times, downright windy in some locations. So the wind will not be dying down tonight, by the way. It'll stay pretty breezy all night tonight. We'll dip down to 39 for the overnight low, which is actually below normal. And that 55, obviously well below normal. Our normal high is 61, 62, right around there. Little breeze on Tuesday, but it's going to start calming down Tuesday night into Wednesday. And by the time Wednesday is done, the wind will be done. But it's going to be, I would say, windy today and then breezy Tuesday and Wednesday with temperatures just a little bit below normal. Back up to no wind and lots of sunshine Thursday. I'm liking that. And the weekend's looking good too. Sunshine is 61, sunshine is 63, sunshine is 67. Sunshine all week for the most part. In fact, today is going to be about the cloudiest day of them all as the wind and the cold front does usher in a few high clouds. Outside of that, lots of sunshine, but considerably cooler than what we had this weekend, but that was an anomaly. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the news on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hey, it's me, Blippi. Blippi's back on stage with his brand new Wonderful World Tour.
I'm an excavator.
Sing, dance, and make new discoveries. In Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour with special guest Mika.
My name is Mika. Yeah, it's nice to meet ya.
For tickets and more, visit BlippiOnTour.com. Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
I chose Pinnacles because they embrace and lift people with different learning styles.
It's a school where I can be myself, creative, and be successful.
There's a lot of hands-on activity, and
you get to really connect with the community here because we're all one. We get to see each other often. It's a small building.
The teachers care about you and make sure there is equity in the classroom.
They take care of them as a whole. They see them as a name, not a number.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
A few high clouds, 54 degrees. It's windy, wind out of the west at about 18 miles an hour, and that's pretty much where it's going to be most of the day today. Gusts above 30, though. In our viewing area, it's going to be a little breezy on Tuesday and spilling into Wednesday, but lots of sunshine and temperatures just about normal. It's 8 minutes after the hour. A single car accident yesterday morning on US 97A just south of Rocky Reach Dam claimed the life of at least one person. According to the Washington State Patrol, a 2013 GMC Sierra was traveling southbound shortly after 9 o'clock yesterday morning when it drifted off the highway to the right, overcorrected across both lanes, drove over the railroad tracks, and into the Columbia River. One unidentified person declared dead at the scene, but authorities are unsure exactly how many occupants were in the pickup. The cause of that accident remains under investigation. Before it was announced that the Columbia Elementary may in fact close, the Wenatchee School District also considered closing a middle school. That detail emerged in public records recently obtained by NCW Life. Notes from a November 13th meeting show Superintendent Corey Callahar and his cabinet discussed, and I'm quoting now, possible closure of elementary and/or middle school, end quote, to help plug the district's $8 to $9 million budget gap. Columbia was targeted for closure because it's underutilized. It serves 327 students. It has a capacity for at least 300 more. Demographic information presented to the district shows that some middle schools, like Pioneer and Orchard, are also underutilized and facing further enrollment declines. District spokesperson Diana Haglund told us that no schools besides Columbia are on the chopping block in the current academic year. The survivors of two women killed in the mass shooting at the Gorge Amphitheater last summer have filed suit. The families of Brandy Escamilla and Jocelyn Ruiz are suing gorge owner Live Nation for what they allege was negligence that led to the June 17th shooting. Escamilla and Ruiz were killed and 3 others were injured in the shooting at a campground area just outside the venue. The lawsuit alleges Live Nation failed to properly enforce its own policies barring weapons at the facility as well as illegal drugs that the alleged gunman used prior to that incident. The suspect, James M. Kelly, still faces trial in Grant County. The case was filed this week in King County Superior Court. This morning, Chelan County PUD's Board of Commissioners are slated to vote on a proposed rate equalization for water customers in Peshastin. The PUD, of course, bought the Peshastin Water District, and that went into effect back on March 26th, and PUD staff were instructed to establish a rate equalization charge since the PUD's water rates are roughly $5 cheaper than the district's water rate. The rate adder proposed before the board today will add $3 this year, $6 next year, and $9 in 2026 for residential customers if it's passed. It's estimated to bring in $33,000 in annual revenue, a portion of which will be used to repair the Peshastin water system. It's been 50 years now since the former mission boarding school in Omak was turned over to the Colville Confederated Tribes. Since then, the Paschal Sherman Indian School has worked to turn back the efforts of forcible acculturation carried out from the late 1880s until 1973. That's when indigenous children were enrolled against their families' will, and they were forbidden to speak their native language. A commemoration at the school marked the anniversary last week. Staff from Paschal Sherman's tribal language program helped students learn the songs performed at the event, and they worked with them to create their own regalia. If you've walked, biked, or driven anywhere in the city of Wenatchee, you've probably benefited from some of Rob Jammerman's expertise. Jammerman became the Public Works Director for the city of Wenatchee back in 2018 after 30 years managing a city public works division in Kirkland. He gave notice this month that he plans to retire in June. And CW Life's Jefferson Robbins spoke with the departing city official, asked him how his current job compared with his old job.
Can you tell me some of the differences in the challenges between working in your job in Kirkland, a fairly large suburban city, versus Wenatchee, a growing city, but still kind of out here, kind of rural?
Yeah, a lot of similarities, and in some ways, it's interesting. Kirkland's hovering around 100,000 in population now, and Wenatchee's around 35. But Wenatchee has a lot of, even though they're a smaller city in a rural area, they have a lot of big city type of issues. So, as an example, the city of Wenatchee staff is responsible for supplying all the water to the whole valley. So we have 3 entities that own that, but they're the suppliers of water. In Kirkland, they just bought their water from the city of Seattle. It still was a large undertaking for them, but that's an example of sort of a big city issue with Wenatchee. Of course, we have our own wastewater treatment plant here that we're responsible for. Kirkland didn't have that. So again, you've got a large population in a large city, but in Wenatchee, maybe a smaller population, but the same types of major services. I would say the biggest difference between the two is just transportation. We do have our transportation challenges here with levels of service for getting people throughout the city and the valley, but over there just the density. It is as we know during that AM peak period and the PM peak period, moving people throughout the city, and whether it be by bus or cars, is super challenging, and so that's probably the biggest difference between the two.
Were there lots of projects on the plate when you took this job, and do you feel like you've been able to see a good percentage of those through to some kind of completion?
Yeah, that's a good question. Public Works never really, the projects never really finish. We're just always in a continual kind of a mode of either repairing things or building new things, and so over the last 6 years, we've completed a lot of utility projects. We've got a major project being completed down at our treatment plant. But every day there's something new. Just an hour ago, I was on a call with my deputy director, Jessica Shaw, about a failed storm line on 5th Street that we didn't know about. We just learned about it this week. And so as we were chatting about it, we were like, how do we fix this? We need to fix it right away. How much is it going to cost? And so that's just sort of a typical day in the life of a public works director and staff, is that we have this city here, this beautiful city that was built around in the late 1800s when it was booming. And so if you think about that, all the infrastructure that was built during that time is about 100 years old, or over 100 years old. So we have what refer to as aging infrastructure. And so even though people might think, oh, things look good around here, there's a lot of things below the street level that is old and needs to be repaired. And so that's, I guess, a long way of saying that's sort of our daily project, delivery. The things we're working on is repairing that old infrastructure.
The second annual Wenatchee Rotary Roast and Toast took place at the Wenatchee Convention Center back on March 9th. It celebrated the retirement of Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz. The event raised a total of $53,000. Of that total, $24,000 was raised for the Sage Advocacy Center, a local nonprofit for victims of sexual assault, through the Raise the Paddle donation activity. A check was presented to Sage during a ceremony on Tuesday. The remaining portion of the $53,000 that was raised will go towards the Rotary's scholarship and community outreach programs. And they do it about every 4 years. They raise the money, and the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band spends spring break in Disneyland, and they perform. The ensemble took Main Street USA during their recent spring break trip a couple of weekends ago, with band director Jim Kovac showing the way.
Imagination Campus proudly presents a special guest performance along the parade route under the direction of Jim Kovac and Elvis Garcia, and coming to us from Wenatchee, Washington. Please give a warm welcome to the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Band.
You know, the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is only 10 days away. Looking forward to seeing those guys and gals during the Stem Milk Growers Grand Parade. That's the news at 18 minutes after the hour. If you're interested in what's going on around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington, we do the news for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television, or as we like to say in the business, TV. But if you use the World Wide Web and your smart device or your smart TV to watch the news, we got you covered there too. Our news will be up and running right around 5 o'clock on our homepage at ncwlife.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube page, our app. If you don't have our app yet, you can do it right now if you want. Just pick up your smartphone and click away. And if there's something out there that you think is newsworthy, you get a hold of us, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. It was a busy weekend in sports. Don't believe me? Well, you'll find out in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley in the NCW Life channel.
My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
It's a great time to go into the medical profession. And this is the perfect place to start, because this is going to provide you that basic understanding in order to get into medical school, physical therapy school. So when you are ready to head on your career pathway, wherever it is, then you've already had some experience and say, oh, it's so cool. This is exactly what I want to do. So really, you're going to leave me with 13 college credits and a license with the state of Washington.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Local Tel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
20 minutes after the hour in sports, the Seattle Mariners spoiled the best outing of the year so far from our ace, Luis Castillo. How do they do that? They ground into two crucial double plays late in the game and a base-running blunder. And the bottom of the ninth inning, lost to the Cubs yesterday 3-2. The Mariners have yet to win a series so far this season.
Seiya homered last night. He's hitting .300 on the trip, 6 for 20. Seiya swings, line drive, base hit in left center field. This is going to roll all the way to the track. Suzuki on his way to second base, gets there standing up. A one-out double for Seiya and the Cubs. Cody Bellinger at the plate. Castillo looks at second.
Little dribbler up along first. That's going to be a tough play, and they throw the ball away. And rounding third alertly and scoring is Seiya Suzuki.
Grounded out to third in the first. Swanson waits for the 0-2. Line drive, base hit down the left field line. This will roll all the way to the corner. Swanson cruises into second base with a stand-up double to lead off the Cubs half of the fourth. So that'll bring up red-hot Michael Busch. He singled in the second.
Busch drives one in the air, deep right center. Back goes Haniger. It's got a chance. Gone. Long gone. In fact, you can get out the tape measure from Michael Busch. He has now homered in 4 consecutive games, and the Cubs lead 3-0.
Jorge Polanco.
2 outs to J.P. Crawford. Not much of a lead at first. Here's the 1-0. Pitch to Polanco. Swung on high drive right field. That is looking good. Carry, baby, carry. Goodbye. Home run, Jorge Polanco. First home run in this building as a Mariner. The Mariners are on the board. We got a 3-2 Chicago lead. Deep right center field. That baby carried a long way out of here.
It was just going to take one big swing to get the Mariners right back in this game. Now down by 1. It was a cutter out over the plate, and Polanco didn't miss it.
Luke Raley is the batter. Julio Rodriguez the runner at first.
So the tying run is on base for Seattle with 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. Throw to first. Oh, just diving back in safely, Rodriguez. Man, that was close.
They had him at first base. They're still looking. Council's looking at this.
And the Cubs are going to challenge.
Yeah, I thought so. Rodriguez was going towards second base, and this tag, I think they got him. I think the game is over. This is going to end the ball game. Boy, that's close. Way too close to be the third out of the ball game when you're the tying run.
Cubs win a 3-2 victory over the Mariners here in Seattle.
You don't see that too often. Seattle continues her homestand. Cincinnati Reds are in town tonight. First pitch on Root Sports is at 6:42. To the American League West scoreboard we go. The Astros beat the Rangers 8-5. The Red Sox just snuck by the Angels 5-4. And how about the A's? Surprisingly, right in it this year. They beat the Nationals 7-6. As far as the Kraken is concerned, well, they're just playing out the string. You know, they're not going to the playoffs. The St. Louis Blues broke open a tie game with 3 goals in the third, and they skate away with a 4-1 victory over the Kraken yesterday afternoon. Jerry McCann scored for the Kraken. Joey Decorn made 25 saves. His record slips to 18-18-11. The Kraken wind up their season with games at Winnipeg tomorrow and then at Minnesota on Thursday. Well, the Eastmont Wildcats took control of the Big 9 standings Friday night with a 3-1 win over the Wenatchee Panthers. That win, combined with Sunnyside's 1-0 upset over Davis, gives the Wildcats a 2-game lead in the standings. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen have the call Friday night right here on the NCB Life channel.
There's Snyder. Recovered by Edgar Leon, the long ball. Looking to connect with Aaron Leon into the box. This guy is dangerous. Aaron, right-footed shot, takes his time. Goal, 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 goal! With the patience of a neurosurgeon, with the, oh my goodness, that was an impressive strike by Mr. Leon. He took his time, waited, and then delivered. 27:41 on the clock. Eastmont still leading Wenatchee 1-0. There's the throw-in. And an open net! An open net! The effort by Mr. Russell slides off his hands, and it finds an open net awaiting none other than Aaron Leon. Pefferman. Chani, this could be interesting. Garcia, is he going to have some room? Looks like Sitio. Sitio might have a shot. Oh, and it bounces off the upright. It was Benny Mejia. My goodness, what an effort. 59-29. Joan de Landeros waiting for the ball to land for a bit. Limon. Nimble move by Angel Sitio. Edgar Leon. Aaron Leon. Coden opening the game up. Smart move. Valencia. Goal, 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 goal. Jose Valencia for the Eastmont Wildcats. 60 minutes on the dot. Jose Sanchez. Garcia inside the box. Garcia. Goal, 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 goal. Anthony Garcia for the Wenatchee Panthers, who were just talking about it, Matt Wise, and kudos to them for not giving up. And there's the prize.
Typical of our games against each other. Not as it's just a little bit more direct than usual. There's players on the field that don't want to make that mistake, and so we kind of go to we rush to our decisions and the cleanliness of our touches. But overall, extremely happy with the effort that we gave. Our defense keeps working hard. We did get some shots on goal against us, but our defense continued to step up, and offensively we just create opportunities. I was super happy today to see Valencia score, and the celebration was top. So that's awesome. So yeah, we're super pleased with where we're at. We're healthy. We're competing, and like I mentioned earlier, even here you can tell that they enjoy competition. Wenatchee is still competition. They still have great players, and we enjoy that. That's how we grow. That's how we get better. And if there's any hope of making it out of our league, you have to compete in every game. So that is what's next.
An entertaining game indeed. Otherwise, let's go back to the Prep Soccer scoreboard. Cascade's record no longer unblemished. Cascade tied over Lake 2-2 in boys soccer. Also, Omak got by Orville on the pitch. Okanagan just passed Tenasket, and Manson over Liberty Bell in Prep boys soccer. Prep baseball over the weekend. It was a clean sweep for Eastmont on Friday. They beat Davis 6-3 and 3-2. Wenatchee and Eisenhower split. Wenatchee took the opener 4-3. Eisenhower took the nightcap 9-8. Clean sweep for Ellensburg over Freda 2-1 and 8-5. More Prep baseball for you in the smaller schools. Chelan got by Quincy in both games of the doubleheader. Kashmir just crushed Cascade 6-3 in baseball, then 16-0. Omak and Lake Roosevelt. Omak took both of those games 4-1 and 9-3. More Prep baseball scoreboard. It was a split between Okanagan and Tenasket. Okanagan took the opener. Tenasket took the nightcap. Manson rolled over Orville in both of their games, 17-1 and 19-5. Brewster got by Liberty Bell by just a run in the first game and 2 in the second game. Prep softball. Wenatchee and Eisenhower split. Eisenhower took the opener. Wenatchee took the nightcap. Moses Lake just had one non-leaguer against Walla Walla. They won that one. Kashmir outscored Cascade by 30 runs in their doubleheader sweep, and Lake Roosevelt shuts out Omak. And more Prep softball scoreboard, I should say. It is Okanagan sweeping Tenasket. Brewster beat Liberty Bell in Prep softball, and Waterville Mansfield rolled over Moses Lake, Soap Lake, I should say, 35-3 and 15-9. Whew. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at the bottom of the hour. Today is National Take a Wild Guess Day, National Titanic Remembrance Day. We'll get to that in just a second. It's National That Sucks Day. It's National ASL Day for American Sign Language. It's Husband Appreciation Day. It, of course, is your deadline to get your federal income tax return in. It's National Glazed Spiral Ham Day. We're not doing anything. We're doing just this one. The rubber eraser. It is National Rubber Eraser Day. How do they erase mistakes? Before the rubber eraser, they used bread. And back in the day when they wrote with ink on parchment, they actually used pumice or sandstone to take out the mistake and replace it. But thanks to Edward Narine, who marketed the very first rubber eraser in 1770. It was a competition to invent something, but it was raw rubber and it didn't work. And then, of course, Charles Goodyear figured out how to vulcanize rubber, and then rubber became durable. And the guy who came up with the idea of putting a rubber eraser at the tip of your pencil at one end, Hyman Lipman, who came up with that idea in 1858. I wonder if it made him any money. Should have, anyway. Happy National Rubber Eraser Day. It's 31 minutes after the hour. Today in history, Abraham Lincoln died. Of course, he was shot the evening before Saturday night at Ford's Theater by John Wilkes Booth, shot in the head. They took him across the street to a local boarding house. They had to lay his body out diagonally in the bed because he was so tall he wouldn't fit any other way. His breathing became more and more labored, and finally, early in the morning of Sunday, April 15th, 1865, Abraham Lincoln becomes the first president to die in an assassination by John Wilkes Booth. Vice President Andrew Johnson was sworn in shortly thereafter to become the 17th president of the United States. You may have heard of this. The Titanic sinks to the bottom of the Atlantic on this date 112 years ago today, April 15th, 1912. It slipped below the surface at about 2:20 in the morning, about 2 hours and 40 minutes after it actually hit the iceberg. The funny thing is, they know how many people survived, but they don't know how many people died. They know 710 people who were on board the ship lived, but as far as how many people died, they don't know, because the manifests were all over the place. There was a lot of confusion. There were some people who checked in under an assumed name. There were people who bought tickets that never got on board. There were stowaways. There were people who were listed in the manifest twice or even 3 times. When you're carrying that many people, you can see that, but nobody really knows the exact death toll. They say anywhere between 1,490 to 1,635 people. That's a big difference. We do know 710 people lived. The Titanic went down 112 years ago today. Today is Jackie Robinson Day all across Major League Baseball. Every player on every team and the umpires will wear the number 42. Jackie Robinson's number 42. Jackie Robinson Day first started in 1997, as a matter of fact. And when the Major League Baseball retired all the number 42s, unless you were an active Major League Baseball player and you were wearing the number 42, you could continue to wear that. But today's Jackie Robinson Day, 77 years ago today. And when you see the footage, we're going to roll here in just a little bit, you're going to go, how did that happen? At Hillsborough Stadium, home of Sheffield, it was the FA Cup semifinal. This was in northern England. As we show the footage, you're going to go, oh my God, what happened? Well, they had a fence to keep people from getting out onto the field, and more people crammed into a standing room only part of the stadium, most of them all Liverpool fans, and there was simply no place for them to go. Of the 96 people who died, the vast majority of them died from asphyxiation. They simply could not breathe in a massive human crush at Hillsborough Stadium. It was a huge investigation. The authorities originally blamed the Liverpool fans. Eventually, it was the authorities themselves who screwed it all up, just stunning them. And this was the FA Cup semifinal. This is huge in England, huge. This is like 93 people dying at an NFL game. Happened on this day back in 1995. Let's do some birthdays, shall we? He was an inventor. He did drawings. He did paintings. He did sculpture. He was an architect. He was a scientist. He was a musician. He was into mathematics, engineering, literature, anatomy, astronomy, geology, botany, wrote a lot, made maps. He kind of did it all. Leonardo da Vinci, he done good. He was a Renaissance man. He was born in the state in 1452, lived to the age of 67, which back then was a long time. And the great Roy Clark, Listen to a few Roy Clark songs over the weekend. That guy could play any stringed instrument and play it better than anybody. The guitar, the banjo, the dobro, it didn't matter. If it was a string instrument that you wore around your neck and you played it with your fingers, nobody was better than the legendary Roy Clark, born in the state in 1933. And he's in the Country Music Hall of Fame, and he should be. Special thanks to our super duper platinum sponsor. That's the rarest of all the metals, you know. Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Did your air conditioner go on automatically over the weekend? It hit 79 yesterday. Mine didn't, but I don't have it turned on, which is a good reminder it is coming, the heat. So this is the time to get your AC unit checked so you're good to go when the summertime heat comes. Alpine Air can take care of you. Pool to spa services, whether it's cold, you want to hop in the hot tub, or it's hot and you want to hop in your pool, well, Pool to Spa Services. That name says it all. And special thanks to our friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista. When we come back, Mike McNally's got an opinion. He has an issue with tipping. And Tom Neese, formerly the Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley, has completely transitioned to his other job that he's had for a while. But it's not easy to work two jobs. Tom will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
A break from reality. Central Washington Water has a showroom full of possibilities. They have the perfect hot tub for any space and any budget, including saltwater hot tubs for the absolute best ownership experience. Find free-flow plug-and-play spas that make it simple and affordable to get you soaking. Drop-a-tone furniture to complete your patio. Make summer a splash with a high-quality, easy-to-set-up above-ground pool with pumps and filters from Central Washington Water, your water experts.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now, bring home select VX and L Series tractors for 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months. Contact your Kubota dealer for details.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up. Time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, when I go into a retail store, I choose my items that I want to purchase. I bring them to the checkout stand, prepared to pay. And lo and behold, there at the cash register is a tip jar. A tip jar? What am I tipping this employee for? For taking my money and accurately reading what the cash register says my change is? Now, tipping is getting way out of hands, folks. I can and do understand tipping food service folks, and I regularly tip 20% or more. I really do. And I tip cab and Uber drivers and folks who deliver food to my house. I also tip baristas because, honestly, my daughter used to be one. But a tip jar in a retail establishment, I can just imagine the next time I go into my local hardware store, pick up my light bulbs and a screwdriver that I need, and when I go to pay, there's going to be a tip jar on the counter. Sorry, ain't going to have none of my money in it. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Sangster Motors has the hottest lineup of GMC vehicles in years. From the top-selling Sierra pickups to the all-new Canyon midsize, Sangster has you covered. Add the luxury of a new Yukon or the outrageous new Hummer Electric, and you have it all right here at Sangster Motors.
Get 2.9% APR for 72 months on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. Or current eligible GMC owners get over $7,800 total value.
When it comes to plumbing, you are likely not the expert. Call After Hours Plumbing. When your laundry room is just a little too tight and you need to expand or remodel, call After Hours Plumbing. Or your hot water heater needs replacing so everyone can have hot water? Call After Hours Plumbing, your local plumbing contractor ready for your home remodels or your commercial business.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents The Magic of Manson.
Spring is here at the Chelan Ridge Winery. Check out the all-new deck area, enjoy an amazing view, new vintage wines, and that down-home hospitality Chelan Ridge is famous for.
Wine Girl Wines is already famous for wine, beer, and great entertainment. And now they have added craft cocktails to the list of food and drink, so pop on by our Manson location for some good old-fashioned fun.
Welcome back to the program. We had Tom Dees on, about a month and a half ago, talking about the transition as Tom has to go from one job, Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley, to a job he already has. The guy who's running the Common Ground Community Housing Trust, and the Common Ground Community Housing Trust for Tom turns out to be, well, a huge time consumer. And Tom said, I can't do both. Well, he ain't doing both no more. Let's welcome, for the first time I actually get to say, from the Common Ground Community Housing Trust, Tom Dees, because it was always Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley, a gig you no longer have.
No, I don't. Now, would that make me the Chief Home Officer?
Ooh, that's good. I'm writing that down. Chief. Tom made a funny joke. April's, that's the first time. Your successor will be joining us shortly. Mike will be joining us shortly. No regret. You knew you needed to do this. This is not a surprise. You were working 70 hours a week and driving everybody nuts doing it. Now there's some normalcy in your life. So give me a quick update on how this whole thing's going.
It's going really well. Mike and I, have been connected for about 12 years, and so we know each other well. We work together well. We get along together well, and so I'm going to continue to work with Mike, just helping, the transition time, and as he gets off and running, and help with some institutional knowledge and things like that, as we move forward. But yeah, we're busy at Common Ground, and I knew stepping into this year was going to be critical to really devote my time there, because we've got our house project that we're working on now. Just got my permits yesterday. We're going to be able to break ground in April, do the build, and then of course we're also working on the future projects, because we can't wait till we get this one done to get our next project going. So. It's a very busy time, but this is good. The timing seems good. The timing seemed to work out really well in Mike's world and his life as well, and so everything came together rather beautifully.
Sometimes
actually.
things are just supposed to happen that way. And this is maybe one of them.
It sure seemed to.
What Tom is referring to is the Crail project, the old Crail house just to the west of Sangster Motors. It was property that you were able to acquire. The old house, which was not suitable for common ground, torn down, and you took one house, a cottage, smallish house, and you're going to turn it into 8 housing units.
Yes. Yep.
So
we're doing a cottage development on there. We're able to get 8 cottage-style units in that to replace the one. Just reminder that house is built in 1928. That was always a little bit of a disruptive first step, you know, that we're wanting to create housing, and the first thing we do is tear a house down. That's a little a challenging alignment with your mission, but it was built in 1928, and it seemed good to be able to replace that one with 8 affordable units that'll be available for home ownership.
Tom remembers when it was built because he was part of the construction crew back there in 28. So you got your permits. Give me a timeline on this. When could we start seeing hammers and nails and drywall going up?
Well, hammers and nails and drywall probably won't happen until July-ish, maybe even a little bit later, because you've got all the infrastructure, the utilities. That's what we got permitted on, was the LSM land surface modification and the utility permit. So we'll break ground, start getting the utilities in, get the foundations down, and the walls start to go up. Our hope is to be able to deliver these for sale in the first quarter of 25.
So this is a good way to get your feet wet a little bit, dip your toe in the water, because it's not a ginormous project that's going to eat up a ton of time and gobs of paperwork. You're starting out with little steps. Do you have any idea what the next step is going to be? Once that this is starting to, it has momentum, and you don't have to keep your eye on it all the time, you can move on to Project B and then C.
So I would say the great sense of timing in this is that we know that we need affordable housing, and everybody in this community knows we need housing. Local jurisdictions now, the cities and the counties here, understand that they now need to plan for and accommodate for affordability in their housing plans and their comp plans. And so there's kind of a top-of-mind awareness about this, and then putting common ground as one solution. You know, we're not the solution to our housing crisis, but we are a solution that is viable. And so I've actually got folks that are reaching out to me right now that they've got a piece of property that we may consider. And so I would like to get our next, we acquired this property in April of last year, this one at Crail Cottages. We're a year out, and now we're starting to build. So we need to get another piece of property acquired in the next 2 months, 3 months, somewhere in there, to be able to keep on that same trajectory. So we've always got something in the pipeline, and that's what we're working on now, is taking a look at different options. Some of those pieces of property may be a little bit larger, so they would be a 3 to 5 year build. Some of them may be similar to what we're doing right now, and maybe a 1 to 2 year build. But we're looking for that next piece of property and putting that plan together to move forward.
And you have a, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. I've talked with people both in Leavenworth and up in Chelan who, the problems with Leavenworth and Chelan is that there's really no middle class that can afford to live there. I mean, there's jobs to be had there, but you're not making enough money to be able to live there. This is acute, especially in the Chelan area, but they're getting their act together. They're starting to figure that out a little bit. But there's a lot of people who work in the hotel, motel, hospitality business in Chelan, which thrives between April and October, but they can't afford to live there, and they're living in Pateros and Brewster and commuting in. This is something that you're taking as a lesson to avoid here, right?
Well,
as much as you possibly can?
To avoid to a certain extent, but we're already there in this community, where it's been true in Chelan and Leavenworth for a longer period of time. That's now becoming true here, that people are living in Waterville, they're living in Quincy, they're living outside of the area to be able to come here. You've got employers, major employers that are having difficulty recruiting talent from outside of the area because they come here and they realize the cost of housing in our community. And so the housing challenge has moved beyond those more recreation centers like Chelan and Leavenworth into our community, Wenatchee, and the greater Wenatchee area.
No regrets, Tom? You're ready to do this and say, it's all yours, Mike. Here's my phone number. Here's where the stapler is.
Life is too short, and I am too old to live with regrets. I'm moving forward, and we're stepping on. I believe that Serve Wenatchee is a beautiful organization and has served this community well now for over 20 years, and that it serves a vital need in our community for moving forward. And I'm glad that can hand off to Mike stepping into this role, an organization that serves such a vital need that he can take to that next level.
Let's talk about Mike real quick, then we'll cut you loose. Mike Malman is the new head dude, the new Tom, if you will. Nobody can replace you. Talk about the selection process and your role in it. Now, when I talked to you last time, you were saying they know where to find me if they want me to participate in helping out finding your replacement. But you were kind of saying it's sort of the board's thing, and I'm there if they need me, but hopefully they won't need me. Talk about that.
And I function that way, and it actually is very similar to how we're moving forward. Like, you know, when the old guy sticks around, it can create a little bit of a conundrum for the new guy stepping in, because the old guy there is the one that everybody goes to when they have a challenge, and you want him to go to the new guy. Well, it was the same thing in this in this process, that I was part of those meetings, getting the structure and the system, because this was a pretty short timeline. You know, we had a pretty short hiring timeline, and so to be able to help put some of those structures together and reach out to some folks that might consider applying. And my role was kind of in the background. I participated in the first couple meetings of the search committee, and then I was out and available for questions. And so that was really my role there. And that's how I'm stepping into this role. That's how Bob Shepard helped me. He helped me for a while to just kind of understand the logistics and some of those things. And then he was available for me to call at any time if I had something I couldn't quite wrap my head around, and be available. That's what I'm going to be to Mike, but I'm not going to hover. I'm going to be a support for whatever he needs.
And new blood brings new ideas, and hey, you know, why didn't we think of that before?
Yep.
So
exactly.
That's a good thing. We're going to bring Mike on to the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. He's waiting patiently in the wings. Last question for Tom: How does the community help you, Common Ground Community Housing Trust? How does my viewers and the folks in North Central Washington help your organization out?
I think a great way to do that. We're a nonprofit organization, and so we do rely on donations, much as Serve Wenatchee does, to keep the operations going and keep things moving forward. Really, the best way is to go to commongroundwenatchee.com. Take a look through there. We've got our project up there and different ways to tie the community into, to this solution. And just have your head on a swivel for, a piece of land that may be available. That's how we got the Crail Cottages. Somebody heard about us and reached out, and I think just having in the back of folks' mind, Common Ground is a place that if you're looking to move some property. This is a place we'd love to talk to you about that.
Well, if you ever need me, you know where to find me.
I do.
So I gave Tom the wrong cell phone number. I did it on purpose. Turns out he's a nice guy. Tom Nees from Common Ground Community Housing Trust. Mike Malman is taking over for Tom, and we'll have him on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Don't go away.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
As Chelan's premier lifestyle store, Willow, find unique home decor, clothing, jewelry, and more. Come visit for a welcoming and memorable shopping experience.
Lake Chelan Sports is the place to find top brands like Hoka, Ons, Patagonia, and now a full line of Warrior products. With excellent customer service, Lake Chelan Sports has what you need.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The
Honda you want is here. So drive in the moment with the versatile CR-V or Accord. Both named a Car and Driver 10 Best. And when you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2023 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
Attention, attention. It's Collins Fashion's big buy one, get one free sale. That's right. Buy one red check or tag item for half price and receive the next item free. Amazing selection of vests, jackets, sweaters, tops, boots, scarves, etc., etc. And we are receiving wonderful spring merchandise arriving daily. Capris, colorful tops, dresses, special occasion fashions for your upcoming events. We have foundation, shoes, and jewelry, personal service and stylists and savings, all at Collins in downtown Wenatchee.
It's a beautiful morning. Oop, I just disappeared. It's 52 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. It is a little windy. It's been windy all morning. We don't know where I'm coming. There we are. Hi, there I am. It's been windy all morning. Going to be windy all day. We'll touch on that weather forecast one more time here in just a couple of minutes. But it is such a beautiful morning after a gorgeous weekend. See the birds fly by? We thought we'd do one more tour around north central Washington in the Wenatchee Valley with our cameras around the valley, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi division. I want to say we use that camera on Friday. It's one that we use all the time, but I can't remember which one it is. Help me out, Uriah. That's Bear Mountain. Okay. That's Bear Mountain, I think, turned around 180 degrees. If we turn that camera 180 degrees the other way, we see Lake Chelan. We turn around that way, and I believe those hills in the very back are actually the hills up the Aniat way. So that's the Bear Mountain camera, not looking at Lake Chelan, looking the other direction. And it's kind of cool, I gotta admit. Now that I'm intrigued, let's find out what we have for camera number 2. Up to Leavenworth we go. A few high clouds up in Leavenworth. It was a gorgeous weekend there. My guess is that was hopping place. A lot of people out and about on Saturday and Sunday for that matter. I mean, it's really hard to stay inside after we had a 71-degree day on Saturday, and we almost hit 80. Yesterday we hit 79 on Sunday afternoon, and our normal high is 61. Just gorgeous. Camera number 3. That looks to be Small's camera along the Columbia River there. I think so. Yep. So there's power lines. Isn't that a beautiful, wonderful thing? And the mighty Columbia doing its thing as well. And finally, up to McNeil Canyon. The McNeil Canyon camera. That is looking good. You can just see Lake Chelan over the ridge. Chelan proper is in the lower left-hand corner. You can see a little sliver of that, and the snow continues to recede. During the commercial break, I did a little research about Omi Gardens. I mentioned that Omi Gardens opens for the season today at 9 a.m. The best way to go about doing it is get a membership, get a season's pass. That means you can come and go during regular office hours whenever Omi Gardens is open, and all you got to do is you're in. I mean, it's a one-time thing, and you're in. If you show up with people who don't have a season's pass, they get in for a discount. If you show up with your pass, guest discounts, you get $3 off for adults and $2 off for kids. You can actually buy 10 one-day passes, and that's like half off. It's a great deal. I think general admission for an adult for Omi Gardens is like $7 or $8. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's a great deal. You get discounts at the gift shop and everything. So now's the time to do it because you're going to be able to take advantage of a significant discount. It will probably pay for itself after 6 or 7 visits. So my recommendation, if you have a chance to, get a season pass at Omi Gardens. It opens at 9 o'clock today. Here's a look at how windy it's going to be today. Very. As a matter of fact, the wind started picking up pretty good late yesterday afternoon and the early evening hours. We're going to have consistent winds at about 20 miles an hour, basically out of the west, sometimes switching to the west-northwest. But there is a pretty good chance of some blowing dust out in the Columbia Basin. It's also very dry. The air is very dry, so there is the possibility of maybe a little bit of fire concern because the relative humidity is super duper low. Okay, from the National Weather Service, here we go. 62 our high today with lots of sunshine, but again, quite breezy. We'll see gusts above 30 miles an hour, especially this afternoon. Wind is not going to be dying down tonight. It'll be windy all night tonight, overnight low of about 39. But again, gusts above 30 at times right through the evening hours. Breezy on Tuesday, not quite as windy tomorrow, but still enough to notice. with a high of 55, 37 for the overnight low on Tuesday night. Wednesday, lots of sunshine. We'll be done with the wind by Wednesday afternoon. Just a nice light breeze, high near 60 degrees. We'll be in the lower 60s on Thursday, and a very pleasant weekend with sunny and mild conditions. And that's it for us. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life that feels good. Because after all, that's what we want. We want to feel good. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson, and today on the show, very excited because we're going to be visiting with Gene Sherritt of Kindness Counts NCW. Now, I got to tell you, I'm a fan of this organization, and I just found out about them. But what I love about them is their mission is to inspire, recognize, and contribute to acts of kindness. I mean, come on. Does it get any better than